Welcome to Jeopardy, everyone.
This is Jeopardy! Here are today's contestants. Yeah. Player 1, Woo! Player 2, Player 3, and now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Thanks, Johnny. Welcome to Jeopardy, everyone. Good luck. Here we go into the Jeopardy round. Clues are worth $200 to $1,000 in these categories: Monopoly, Zoology, Inti Fresh, Mythology, Pop Culture, and American History. A lot of clues. After General Cornwallis surrendered at Yorktown, this American traitor accompanied him back to England. Let's hear it, Player 1. Use the Wii remote or press the corresponding direct... Yep. Player 1, back. In 1898, Americans were urged to remember the battleship named for this state. It sank in Havana Harbor. It's Player 1. Good. Player 1. This January 1st, 1863 document liberated all slaves in regions still under Confederate control. Yes, Player 1. Yeah. Correct. Player 1. The New Deal refers to the economic recovery and social reforms implemented by this U.S. president. Okay, Player 1. Right. We return to you, Player 1. In 1609, this captain was injured in a gunpowder explosion and lost his leadership role in Jamestown. Let's hear it, Player 1. That's correct. You get to pick again, Player 1. Hue or dye. Player 1. You got it. Choose again, Player 1. A thin piece of rigid material to maintain a body part in a fixed position. Okay, Player 1. Yes. Player 1. Answer. It's the Daily Double. You are in the lead right now. Okay, here is the clue. A short race at full speed. You have maintained your lead. Way to go. Please pick again, Player 1. Five-letter word for gleaming brightness or luster. Yes, Player 1. Yeah! That's correct. Select again. To look with the eyes partly closed. It's Player 1. That is correct. You get to pick again, Player 1. A classic PBS Kids series that taught reading shared its name with this Monopoly utility. Yes, Player 1. Yeah! That's right. Way to go. Please pick again. Each time a player passes go, he collects this salary. It's Player 1. Yeah, good. We return to you. A question mark is on the space in which you draw one of these cards. Player 1. Hey, you're right. Player 1. Tokens that are household items include the iron and this sewing accessory. Let's hear it, Player 1. That's it. Player 1. Back. A railroad and an avenue are both named for this state. Okay, Player 1. Correct. Player 1, you pick a... Some say his 12 labors were penance for killing his wife Megara and their children. Let's hear it, Player 1. Right. Player 1. Jupiter is the Roman equivalent of this Greek god. Player 1. Yes. You again, Player 1. She was given a box and told not to open it. She did, releasing the world's evil, but shut it before hope could escape. It's Player 1. Right you are. Select again. And here's Kelly.
According to Greek myth, this monster depicted here 8 people who could not answer its riddle.
Okay, Player 1. You are correct. Choose again, Player 1. This Greek sea god could cause springs to flow and create storms with a flourish of his trident. Yes, Player 1. Right. Select again. Let's go over to Kelly.
Glasses with colored filters in each eye let you watch films in 3D. At the 2010 Grammys, the audience donned them for a montage from this performer's This Is It.
Let's hear it, Player 1. Good for you. Player 1. In I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, Kevin James weds this Hanukkah song guy at Niagara Falls. Player 1. Yes. Please pick again. Michael C. Hall of 6 Feet Under went to Showtime to play this homicidal title character. It's Player 1. Good. We return to... In 1964, he topped the pop music charts with the title song from Hello, Dolly. Yes, Player 1. You are correct. Choose again, Player 1. A 2-time Oscar-winning actress, one of her first jobs was as the Coppertone Suntan Lotion Girl at age 3 in 1965. Okay, Player 1. Good. Player 1. The giant Pacific This may have as many as 1,600 suckers on its arms. They help it to taste and touch. Let's hear it, Player 1. That's not it. Any other takers? It's Player 2. No. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Yes, Player 3. That's correct. Player 3, back to you. While it doesn't breathe fire, the dragon named for this Indonesian island does kill its prey with its deadly saliva. Player 1? Yeah! That's it. You get to pick again. Doggone it, a mud puppy isn't a little doggy, but a large one of these amphibians. Okay, Player 1. Yes. Player 1. A type of this snake that sounds like a James Clavell novel is Australia's deadliest and most feared. It's Player 1. You got it. And now the $1,000 clue. The rare white alligator has a condition called leucism, meaning it lacks this skin pigment. Yes, Player 1. Yes. player 2 is going first in the Double Jeopardy round, which starts after this. Let's see what happens in Double Jeopardy with these categories awaiting the players. Biblical abominations, graphic novels on film, playing possum, whacked, the A's, and first names. All right, player 2. As promised, you pick first in Double Jeopardy. A liquid under pressure released through a nozzle as a spray or foam. Okay, player 1. Right. You again, player 1. A recess or nook for something like a bookcase. Let's hear it, player 1. Yeah. Right. Choose again, player 1. To suspend a legal proceeding. Player 1. Good for you. Player 1. Pick again. From the Greek for slope, it's to adjust to a new set of conditions. Yes, player 1. Correct. Player 1. You, Kelly?
In seismic data, the maximum displacement of a seismic wave during one oscillation, here 23 millimeters, is referred to by this term.
Let's hear it, player 1. Correct. Player 1. Leviticus chapter 11 says, most insects that creep or fly are an abomination, but this 8th plague is kosher. It's player 1. Good. Select again. Leviticus chapter 11 verse 13 declares that this bird of prey, later a symbol of Roman legions, is an abomination. Player 1. No, sorry. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? We're talking about the eagle. Player 1, back to you. Potpourri is not mentioned, but this burning perfume is an abomination according to Isaiah chapter 1 verse 13. Okay, player 1. Yeah! Yep. You again, player 1. Answer, the first of the daily doubles. And you have the lead. Give us a clue. Leviticus chapter 11 verse 10 says, all that have not fins and these in the seas shall be an abomination. Sorry, you're down to second now. Here's what we were looking for. Scales. You get to pick again. In Genesis, chapter 46, verse 34, every shepherd is an abomination unto this kingdom that was known as Kemet. Let's hear it, player 1. Sorry, that's wrong. Any other takers? It's player 3. Ooh, sorry. That's incorrect. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Yes, player 2. That is correct. On the plus side again. Please pick again, player 2. History diverges from this film, as the Spartans also had over 1,000 men from other Greek cities fighting at Thermopylae. Okay, player 1. Yeah, good. We return to you. Johnny Depp is in England on the trail of this serial killer in the Alan Moore-inspired film From Hell. Player one? Yes. You again, player one. Tom Hanks takes his son on a violent mission of retribution against a gangster boss in this film. Yes, player one. Yeah. That is correct. Hey, you're on the plus side. Player one. Sadly, 1994's The Crow, about a man who comes back from the dead, was the last for this star. It's player one. Yeah! Right. Please pick it. Thora Birch and Scarlett Johansson are friends who move in together after high school in this spooky film. Player one? Right you are. You get to pick again, player one. Wild Bill Hickok's real first name was James. This was Buffalo Bill Cody's. Let's hear it, player one. That's correct. We return to you. Jennifer is a form of this other first name made famous by King Arthur's wife. Okay, player one. Yeah. That's right. Way to go. Player one. This first name, like that of the guy who married Medea, is from a Greek word for healer. Yes, player one. Yeah. Hey, you're right. Choose again, player one. This first name of Miss Marple's creator comes from a word that means good. Player one. That's correct. Player one, back to you. As a verb, this first name means to send mail free of charge. Let's hear it, player one. You are correct. Player one, you pick. Like wombats and bandicoots, possums are members of this group of about 270 species. Okay, player one. Right. Select again. Chuck Berry knows this sweet little number of days is the typical gestation period of a possum. It's player one. You got it. Player one. Stick to it. In 1948, this Walt Kelly possum hit the funny pages. Let's hear it, player one. Good. You get to pick. Australia and New Guinea are home to the 5 species of this type of possum that may weigh as little as a quarter of an ounce. Yes, player one. That is correct. Player one. The flying possum doesn't fly. Well-developed flaps of skin along its flanks have it known by this 6-letter term. Okay, player one. Yes. You again, player one. An anarchist named Bresci killed King Umberto of this country in 1900. Player one. Good. Select again. Mexico, 1940. Looks like this former number 2 man under Lenin in Russia got whacked, literally. It's player one. Yeah. Yes. Please pick again, player one. Answer, the second daily double. And you're in the lead now. So what's your wager? Answer this. Brother Ike took a powder as Billy of this family was gunned down at the OK Corral. Even so, you are still in the lead. Here's the response we were looking for. Clanton. Choose again, player one. This soon-to-be saint was killed by 4 of Henry II's men after excommunicating some bishops and barons. Yes, player one. Nope. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Here's the correct response. Thomas à Becket. And the last clue for $2,000. Patrice Lumumba helped the Congo gain independence from this country in 1960. He was killed less than a year later. Player one? Good for you! Only 2 of you will be going on to Final Jeopardy. Sorry, player 3. Consider your wagers carefully as you think on this category. U.S. presidents. You need to select your wager. Each direction on the plus control pad represents a different response. Press a direction to select an answer. All right, players, this is what it comes down to. Here is the final Jeopardy clue. He's the only U.S. president who never lived in the District of Columbia. And your response? And that correct response will add... What did you say? How much do you add to your total with that correct response?
Yeah.
This makes you our new champion, player one. So congratulations. So long.